Okay, welcome to the second part of my search for the perfect flogger, or if not the perfect flogger, at least a flogger that, is useful. So what are the qualities you would want your flogger to have? First of all, the length. It's important because a long flogger basically moves slower. On the other hand, it can be more of an it can become more, it has its own rhythm. That's the word I was looking for. It has its own melody in a sense. And so a long flogger um, is very different from a short flogger. Short floggers are for the fast stuff, for creating a quick rhythm. So length. Second thing you want to take into account is the material. A flogger can be made of basically anything. It could be made of rope, it could be made of plastic, it can be made of rubber. You also see these things that are made of, plastic and feathers. Well, they're toys basically, and of course a flogger can be made of leather. All these materials have their own qualities. Personally, I prefer a leather flogger because it's both soft, soft to the touch. You can use it for almost like stroking someone, or the thicker it gets, the more strands it has, the more thud it has. It has more oomph. It's that full-fledged feeling of the whip pushing you. So material. Plastics are sharp no matter what. Rubber or latex floggers, they have that sharp quality to them as well, unless it's a very thick flogger, a thick flogger like that. A leather flogger has both the soft touch and the full-fledged oomph, depending on how many strands it has. Then part of your search is, looks. Do you want your flogger to look like they came out of some dark cellar where people in black leather are beating each other up? Or would you prefer your flogger to be, to have a gentler look, to be in line with your spiritual values? Would you want your flogger to look as though it's, you could keep it lying around in the house and your friends could come over and you can talk about it and you wouldn't have all that prejudice? Well, this is obvious where I'm heading. I would think so. But when looking for a flogger, it's really very hard to find a flogger that does not, by its looks already, tell you, this is heavy, serious stuff. And finally, what is really important is whether a flogger is well balanced. Balance, well, it literally means balance. It means that the flogger has a point where you can keep it well balanced, and the balance is such that when you use it, the flogger creates again its own rhythm, its own melody. It's an extension of your arm. And it can do that when it's well balanced. When it's not well balanced, you have to adjust for that by using your movements in some other manner, which is distracting. Okay, so looking for that fine flogger, one has to see what is out there. And since I was in Berlin, I decided to pay a visit to the Peitschenhandel. The Peitschenhandel basically is a warehouse. It's situated in a small court off, well, one of the side streets of a major Berlin street. And when you enter it, it does look like, you know, like a warehouse, basically, except a warehouse filled with whips and sticks and handcuffs, and let's say it has quite an atmosphere. So they have a large web presence, and the store is basically meant to show off all the stuff they have. And they have a lot of stuff. You see here are paddles. Here's the kind of floggers, the workshop. These are more paddles, so that's basically slabs of leather or wood that are used to hit. Canes, of course, I'm a big fan of canes, and I think these look really nice, actually. Some are, more flexible than others. I like my cane to have a nice flexi bit to it. They even have canes shaped like walking sticks, so you can more or less hang them on the wall and disguise them a bit. Riding crops, of course, and other kind of crops that have this thin, sharp feel to them. I'm not actually a big fan of them. And there's our first flogger. This is a leather red flogger. It was quite thick, as you could see, so not so bad. This is a plastic one. So it's a red plastic one. In general, I prefer the reds to the blacks. And here's red and black, and it's the feathery thing with a bit of leather. It's, well, yeah. What can I say? Not for me. That's a soft suede flogger. If it's all suede, a flogger can be very soft. It's not so bad. I think one should have one so that you can use it in combination with stronger or more sturdy floggers. Maybe in combination with one of these thin floggers, although that was a thin rubber one and it's very sharp. Another suede flogger, it's black and squarish, so its looks aren't great, but yeah, another thin one. Well, not so badly balanced. How did I like that one? Well, I wasn't a big fan, but it looks of it. So I went upstairs where the more expensive stuff is stored. So these are mostly single tail whips. There were short floggers, more single tails, as you can see. So these are the floggers. So short ones, long ones, thin ones, thick ones. Okay, so I've found a couple of floggers. Well, found them. I've looked at a couple of floggers and I figured, well, here's one. It's nice and small. It's quite expensive actually. It's 82 euros. It has, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 strands. Soft suede on one side and shiny leather on the other side. The whole thing looks, of course, pretty black and BDSM-y. It has a nice softish touch to it, so it's more of a study thing. I found this very interesting thing. I think it's like a cat of nine tails, except it's longer. It has a very long handle. Let's see how that's. Oof. very sharp. It has a nice wheel to it. Well balanced, not bad. I also found this one, which has a soft grip, and again rather long strands, very tightly woven. 297 euros. Very sharp. One has to be into that kind of thing, I think. And then there's this thing, which looks like sort of a cross between a belt and a whip and a horse crop. Let's see. It feels rather nice. It's 238 euros. But it's pleasant. It's pleasant. I think I'd like to have one of these. Okay, so here I am again. After as I record this, I'm back in Amsterdam, and I have rewatched what I recorded at Peitschenhandel, and it seems obvious to me that at a store, a huge store such as Peitschenhandel, you can basically find anything at a price. There's cheap stuff, and the cheap stuff's not bad, and there's expensive stuff, and the expensive stuff is well crafted. The interesting thing, though, is that there's always room for improvement, because as I was looking at all that stuff, I thought, yeah, some is good, some's not to my liking, but most of all, it all has that, this leathery, dark look. They're all, they're very much in that. They bring their own atmosphere, and the atmosphere they bring is one of, well, let's face it, the black leather stuff. Whereas what I'm trying to achieve with meditative flogging, what I'm saying is you can use this stuff to create your own world, in a sense, and to connect with a higher reality. You can use whipping, flogging, to improve your relationship, with a partner, if you're in a relationship with someone and it's a loving relationship, you can deepen that relationship through flogging, because it's such an intense and beautiful ritual. So would you want your whips to look like something that came out of a dark dungeon? I should think not. So yeah, looks. As far as material goes, I tested a lot of these things. It's obvious to me I prefer leather. So the flogger that I'm going to create, these bespoke floggers, they're going to be leather. Although I prefer a vegan diet, so it might be interesting to try to create a vegan flogger. I don't know how to go about it though, so I'm going to experiment a bit with that as well. And if you have any ideas, by all means, let me know. Yeah. Well, price, we've talked about that. Material, talked about that. I would basically say avoid plastics. But I think watching all that stuff, there's two conclusions. First of all, I really want to take this out of the realm of BDSM. I just think it is such a pity to have this wonderful technique that has such a history, and that really enables one to get so very close to one spot and to concentrate so much, to keep that technique, which is of course what it is, to keep that practice locked away in the realm of the shiny leather. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, none of these floggers that I've tested here, and of course I've tested a lot of floggers in other stores as well, have these qualities. You would like your flogger to have something, a bit of a sharpish edge, as well as to be able to have a bit of oomph, give a more that thuddy feeling. And then you want your floggers to look nice. And so my other conclusion is, obviously, I'm going to have to create my own floggers. And I will, for you.